So we're going to talk about building the business. I mean, there's so many things to talk about in building the business, but I think at the very basic level, you have to decide if you want to duplicate yourself. Okay, so every great accomplishment starts with a decision, right? It starts with a decision that you're going to commit to doing something, like your spouse, your commitment that you're going to be devoted and faithful in sickness or in health, and better for worse, as long as you both shall live, right? It's the vow that you've made, the commitment when you come to the altar before God and everyone, and this is the sacrament that you are administering to each other, your vow of fidelity, your vow of love, that is a commitment that you've made, right? I think about the commitment that you made when you decided that, that the Lord's your Savior and that you have committed to live a life according to God's laws. And what's simple about that is it's only two things you got to do. You got to love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and then love your neighbor as yourself. Nothing else matters, right? It is simple. It's a simple process, but it's not easy. Like when you're angry at someone and you have lack of forgiveness in your heart, I think that one of the most important person you need to forgive is yourself, right? Is forgive yourself for, all the failings that you had in your past, and decide that, that's in the past. This is my future. This is what I'm going to do now is my future, right? So it's a simple process, but it's not easy. It's never meant to be easy. Simple does not equate to easy. Simple is simple. Work is the work. The work is a work, but the aspect of it being worthwhile is immeasurable, right? It's immeasurable because of the abundance of graces and rewards that result from making a commitment and then working towards it. So the idea of building a business is, in my opinion, making a commitment to, number one, be the copy worth duplicating. And number two, finding other people that want to follow the system so they could chase their dreams and goals, right? And so for you as the person that's opening the door to others, okay, you don't have to be perfect. So I'm not saying you have to be a Jerry Gonzalez or Jeremy Patton or a Megan Wood. You don't have to be that level. But what God requires us all to do is that you're trying, that you're working at it, that you're, seeking to be better and better every day. So, cut yourself some slack that you don't got to be the perfect person. All you got to be is a commitment to become better, a commitment to become better, a commitment to, forgive yourself of the sins of the day and move forward to tomorrow where it's a better day, a better opportunity to become better. And I think this whole idea of building a business helps you do that. I think if you just sell, you only have a certain responsibility. It's kind of like if you're a single parent, not a parent, like if you're, married or single with no children, there's only a certain amount of aspiration, in my opinion, that I believe you can have in your life. Okay, until you have your child, then the game changes. You're in a different category, honestly, because now you're responsible for another human being. You're responsible for raising that baby. That baby cannot take care of itself. The only way that baby's going to be taken care of is you, right? At least up till age 18. Ginny always says, okay, I've done my job, man. Well, we got one more to get to 18, without having, any kind of mishap, then she's done her job, right? But oh, how important those 18 years are, right? How important the first 6 are the most important, because that's when you put the value system into your children. Then after that, it's like you're praying. You're just praying, Lord, okay, just, protect my child. So the analogy is that when you're just selling, you know, you just got to take care of yourself. But when you're bringing other people on, you have a responsibility. Now, you don't have to coach them in sales because maybe you're not that good yet, you know, but at the least you can do is invite them to all the things that they need to plug into, which should be all the things you're plugging into in order to build an organization. And you have to think of it from the standpoint of, what do you want duplicated? Do you want people that just pick and choose what they want to plug into? Or do you want someone that plugs into everything that they can plug into, every webinar and conference call that they can attend? Like, when you think about the ideal agent, wouldn't that be the person you want, right? So I turn it around on you. Wouldn't you want to be that same person that they should be, right? Like, if you want your children to aspire to something great, shouldn't you provide the example of aspiring to something great? A bigger dream, a bigger goal, a bigger plugging into a bigger purpose in your life that can show them that, hey, other people can aspire to great things, so can I. I have the ability to do that, and I have the people around me to help me get there, okay? So I think building a business is one of the most important things that you can decide to do with your life in our business, because of the tremendous impact that you have. All right, now look, it doesn't got to be a ministry to you. You know, you just make a smart business decision, okay? No different than Ray Kroc did when Ray Kroc found the McDonald's brothers. And when you think about the McDonald's story, I don't know if you saw that movie with Michael Keaton. That was a great story. You know, whether you like Michael Keaton or the story or not, you got to love what happened. It's what's interesting is that the McDonald's brothers only saw their hamburger and shake business in a very limited way. They saw maybe opening a few locations but they never saw the idea of duplication, right? They never viewed it as something that can go nationwide. Well, Ray Kroc comes in selling his shake machine, and he sees the efficiency at which they're able to churn out fast food to the public. And he said, man, if y'all can do this, well, he didn't use those words. If you can do this, I can make you rich. Well, they didn't have the vision of franchising it, right? Franchising back then in the 50s, really kind of a new concept. But Ray had a big vision that if he can create this system in a duplicatable manner and then sell this franchise to people that wanted to duplicate it, then, man, he's got something, right? He's got something. And it's amazing the seed of an idea of someone who sees a vision bigger than what that business really, what the originators of business see it. It's amazing what can happen with it. I don't know if you remember the movie, like, you need to see the movie. I even forgot what the movie's called. Does someone remember what the movie's called? It's something like, it's this one-word title. Man, someone Google it for me and then post it, because you have to watch it. Because there's a part of the movie, I think it's in Chicago, where he franchised to a franchisee in Chicago, and he discovered that they were selling all these other things in the restaurant. I think it was like barbecue, or there are other things they were selling. It was not the formula. And Ray Kroc just shut that guy down, man. I think he went out there and just kind of knocked stuff over. Yeah, The Founder. Thanks, Todd. The Founder. What a great movie. Like, all you that want to build a business, you have got to watch that movie, because that is really the essence of the spirit of what we're talking about. Now, you know, Ray Kroc, they kind of portray him in a certain way, but I want you to understand the concept. He was fanatical about duplication, making sure that anybody that attends a McDonald's anywhere in the country is going to have the same experience, the same quality of food, but also the same business efficiency that was stamped out by the McDonald's brothers themselves, right? Because that was the key to profitability. And then he would take a royalty payment, a franchise fee, you know, and then ultimately what made McDonald's very wealthy corporation is the ownership of the land, right? Owning these, you know, owning the places where these franchises were on. I mean, ultimately, McDonald's ended up becoming a big real estate developer is really what they turned out to be. But in essence, for the franchisee, what the franchisee got was a duplicatable system of success where they know they could make a ton of money by plugging into franchise. Okay. Well, when you look at the alliance system and what we do, it's no different. It's all about duplication. Okay. It's all about duplicating. And so what does Andy Albright talk about when it comes to duplicating our culture? And I think it's worthy of us to really understand it for what it is. And I posted this on Facebook because I think once you embrace the alliance culture, then I think that this can give you something that you can hang your hat on that is significant. Because once you know what you're trying to duplicate, then there are two things that happen. You then want to become, gotta get on my screen share. I love this graphic because this really talks about these things that we believe are the things that make our culture great, makes us different than all the other people out there, beyond just the compensation system. You've heard me talk about the compensation system over and over and over again. But I think this is really the core, the essence of who we are, that I think if you understand this and believe in it yourself, for yourselves, man, what a great thing that you can do to share this with other people, you know, because you really got to share this vision that Andy Albright put together on how we make our business great, or how these questions we ask. So the first one, why do we exist? Prosperity, inspiration, and eternity. You know, prosperity for us and our friends, for the people that we care about, people that we bring on board our business, prosperity for our families, right? Financial prosperity, and also more than financial prosperity, okay? But it's addressed in the third one. Inspiration, being able to inspire people to do something great in their lives. And the form of inspiration takes many forms. You know, one of which is being able to give money to charities and inspiring others that they can do the same, right? Inspiring people, you know, even with just lifestyle, being able to spend time with your families and be able to support your children's endeavors without regard to financial concerns. Inspiring people to a better life that they can have because you can help them with an opportunity like this, right? Like I can't even begin to tell you how much better my life is beyond just financial because of this business. In the 22 years I've been doing it, it's been the best financial thing I've ever done, but more than that, one of the best spiritual things I've ever done with my life. And, you know, the mission that God has put upon me on this earth involves this business. What a crazy thing, right? Inspiration, and then eternity. Believing that, you know what, there's something better after we're done with this short lifespan that God gave us on this earth, and that we're building our mansions elsewhere, in a place where we have no idea, where the streets are made of gold, where the streets have no name, you know, the U2 song, right? Where the stuff that we do here, we're building our mansion, we're building an eternal existence. And yeah, we're not scared of talking about eternity, because it's what keeps us grounded with doing the right thing in this short lifespan that we have here. So when you think about why we exist, you know, we don't exist for corporate profits. We don't exist to increase a stock price, right? We don't exist so that you can make me rich and I can make Andy Albright rich. It's not that. It's not that. It's bigger vision. We call it PIE, P-I-E, prosperity, inspiration, eternity. How do we behave? Well, look at the 8 core values that we believe in. Excellence. We believe in providing our clients excellence, right? The best that we can be, the best version of ourselves. We aspire to give our agents the best version of ourselves. How better can I serve you as your upline, right? How can I be a better father to my children? That's that idea. How can I be a better leader for you? Well, I got to get on my A game. I got to sharpen the sword. I got to get better, better, better every day so I can help you become better and better. I'm not going to put a lid on your potential because I put a lid on mine. I need to continue to be excellent in what I do and who I am. Service, that's picking up the phone, okay? Communicating. It's going beyond the call of duty where other agents wouldn't go the extra mile for clients, but we do because we believe in the concept of service. Integrity. Our word is as good as gold. We are good for our word. When we tell a client we're going to call them back, we're going to call them back. We're not going to compromise our integrity just out of convenience. See, because greatness and convenience can't exist in the same world, can't exist in the same person. Having integrity is never convenient, but having integrity is always the right thing to do because that's what God wants us to do. Accountability. This is another aspect of integrity, being accountable for your actions. Standing up and say, man, my bad. I take responsibility for not turning in business because I didn't make enough phone calls, I didn't get enough leads. I take responsibility for it. But you know what? It's being accountable to your family because you didn't do what you were supposed to do this week to provide for them. So it goes beyond getting on the leaderboard. What it counts for is putting money in your bank account for your family, right? Being accountable to your family. You know, being accountable to your upline that you're going to do what you say you're going to do, being accountable. That's a huge thing. Respect, treating each other with dignity, treating all our clients with dignity, not thinking about them as some loser that's so broke they can't afford anything. Man, you start letting thoughts like that creep into clients that you don't take care of, clients that get mad at you. See, the problem with thinking like that, you start thinking ill of the clients that you don't make money off of. Do you think God's going to bless you with clients that you would have been able to help, but because your attitude was in the toilet, God won't bless you with that? Does that make sense? You got to treat everyone with dignity and respect. You got to cut people slack when they're yelling at you on the phone and think, man, they're just having a bad day. Maybe they just found out that their parent, their mother or father just got diagnosed with cancer or Alzheimer's, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what's going on in someone's life, and you got to cut everyone's slack. Like when you get mad at me, I know there's something going on in your life, right? I'm not going to, automatically think that, I'm going to think there's something going on with you. What is going on with you that I can help you with, right? I always got to think like that, right? Respect. And that leads us to compassion, is understanding, whether you know it or not, that same thing, that people are going through stuff and I'm there to help. Like whenever I tell someone I'm going to pray for them, when I'm off the phone, I am praying for them. I am praying for them when I tell them, because I never want to be the person that just provides lip service to people saying, oh yeah, I'll pray for you. I'll pray for you. I promise I'll pray for you. It's like, no, man, I'm not going to be that guy that's unaccountable, that, because you're talking a spiritual realm. Can you imagine lying to someone, saying you're going to pray for them and you don't? Man, I don't know how God can bless you, right? And what's amazing about prayer, it's a little thing that means everything. You have no idea that we live in this world of, in a spiritual warfare right now. And you have no idea that your prayers are being listened. God listens to your prayer. When it comes from an honest and contrite heart with the good intent that you mean it, he always listens to your prayer. And it always has effect. You may not know it, and you may never understand it, but you got to know that your words do not come back void when it comes to prayer. And so I always make good on the promise when I tell you I'm going to pray for you, right? That's why Lauren always asks me to pray for her, and I'm always praying for Lauren. And I appreciate the opportunity to do it, because it is something that when God puts people in front of me to pray for them, man, there's a reason. I don't care if they're my agent or not. If I'm recruiting them, I'm always praying for them. when I tell them I'm going to. And I think that's the idea of compassion, is having compassion for people, whether they're clients, whether they're other agents that you're recruiting. Community. Man, God did not mean for us to be alone. He meant for us to fellowship with each other, to create a community of common goals and values of people that are headed in the same direction so that we can support each other in this endeavor of fighting the battle against poverty, right? Satan and his demons in the spiritual warfare are trying to fight us. There are spiritual forces opposing us, but when we unify, we become a cord that can never be cut, right? When they were building the Tower of Babel, right, Ansel, man, mankind got unified. It's amazing when you can unify people, and they're building this tower to heaven. God said, I'm going to nix that idea, because you don't deserve to come up here until I say you deserve to come up here. And so what did he do? He said, y'all are going to not be able to speak to each other. You're not going to be able to communicate because you're going to all speak different languages. Look what he did. When he created disunity, it created chaos. Well, Satan took that same game plan, and any time he can create chaos in a society, like what we've seen this last year, chaos, the cancel culture, people against each other, when he can create disunity, man, he's laughing all the way to the bank. But when we can come together as a community unified against the enemy, man, there's nothing that can go against us. There's nothing that can stop us. There is no weapon shall be formed to break the alliance up, to break us up, to do what we were meant to do on this earth, right? To change the world. All right, that's community. And then finally, gratitude, man. Being grateful for all the blessings, whether it's the sufferings that God has sent us that we can learn from, or it's all the positive blessings in our lives. We have to count our blessings every day. The ability to speak in front of you now, I count that as a blessing. My ability to let the Lord's words come out of me, to touch your ears and touch your hearts, I don't take that lightly. I don't take it for granted. I pray that I always say the right thing that may help you become better, right? And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the opportunity Andy Albright gave me. I'm grateful for all these things. But how do you turn that gratefulness into real gratefulness? Is by putting those blessings into action, being blessed with the abilities that we have to influence our clients, to protect their families, right? Using our talents and abilities that God had blessed you with to make other people's lives better. What way to show God the gratitude of those blessings? Man, you got your eyes, you got your mouth, you got your ears, you got your brain, you got the abilities that he's endowed you with. What are you doing with them? True gratitude is that you're taking those blessings, right, and becoming what God wanted you to be, because you are implementing the gifts he's given you, right? There's so many scriptural passages about the three servants, right? One invested the master's money. The two servants invested the master's money. One was able to get 4 times, 5 times. The other one was doubled it. And then the third one buried it in the ground, right? Third one buried it. Master, I knew that you harvested where you did not sow. So here's your money back. Oh man, the master was fired up, in a bad way on that dude. It's the talents that he was provided that he did not do anything with. And I never wanted to be that guy. I never wanted to be that guy, man. I never want to be that guy. I want to be the person, I want to be the first servant that multiplied the talents and abilities that God has blessed me with to reap a harvest 100-fold, right? That's how we behave in the alliance. How can you not be down with a company that believes in these things about how we behave? I mean, you got to be a pretty hard, stone-hearted person. Stiff-necked, I think, is what he called the Israelites coming out of Egypt. I mean, can you imagine? How many of you have agents that were stiff-necked, the stiff-necked people, right? I always wanted the Lord to use me, to mold me, right? Then what do? We sell, we recruit, and we build. That's just one thing. Through the 8 steps to success, personal use, you own a policy, right, from one of our carriers. I believe you need to own a policy from one of our carriers, right? Like if you own a Chevrolet dealership, you're not going to drive a Mercedes into the dealership, are you? You're probably going to drive a Corvette in. You know what I'm saying? You know, not a competitor's product. Like you need to own one of our policies. I think you need to own one of our policies because you need to have congruency in what you are doing, believing in the products you're selling others. You have one of our policies. Well, Alex, I believe in life insurance. I have a life insurance policy. Okay, you fill that block. Okay, you fill that block. You can get away with that if you want, right? But I'm hardcore committed. I'm going to be a card-carrying member of the Alliance because I have an Alliance product. You know what I'm saying? I've got a ton of them too, man. I mean, I don't think you should compromise on that, right? Personal use, work. If you don't work, you don't eat. At the Alliance here, we work. If you're full-time, 40 appointments a week is what we're telling people. But whatever your goals are. But Andy says 40 appointments a week, you're truly full-time. Now, if you want to be part-time, that's cool. If you want part-time income, that's cool with me. But be committed to it. But he's saying work, right? And work is getting leads, putting a schedule together, getting on the phone, booking appointments, going to see the people, taking care of those people, getting referrals, right? Finding annuities, you know, the 4 basics of selling, okay? Work. Then being a good listener. Everything that we recommend is for your benefit. Whether you like it or not, it's going to benefit you. Why? Because the most basic reason is because I don't make a dime until you make a dollar. I don't make a dime until you make a dollar, man. You know what I'm saying? So I am going to help you because if I don't help you, I'm hurting my family. That is the reason why you need to listen. Andy Albright wants you to grow. I want you to grow. We're making all these recommendations. Now, it's a recommendation. It's an all-volunteer army. But if you want to squeeze the juice out of the Alliance opportunity, then you have to be a good listener. You have to be, right? And it's listening and doing. So it's doing. You know, it's kind of like listening to the Word of God, right? But not having the Word rooted in good soil, and then the sun burns it away, the birds come and take the Word out of you, the weeds come and choke it out of you, right? We're talking about listening because you're the good soil. And the good soil is where the Word will yield 100-fold harvest. Be the good soil by being a good listener, right? Reading books. I know reading, you can listen to books, that's great. I think there's nothing wrong. Oh, Todd, man, I have a whole sermon on faith without works. Dude, you know, I have a whole sermon on that. Anyway, reading. Reading is the most active way of learning that you could ever do because reading rewires your brain. In fact, I sent an article out on the Alliance Facebook page, and I think I might have sent it on our Slack, that reading rewires your brain. Why? Because not only are you reading, you're visually doing it, but your mind is thinking about, it's not just listening. You're actively flipping the pages or however, there's something active in it that rewires your brain. It's the quickest way to rewire how you think is reading, right? Need to be in the books, man. If you don't know what book, then I'll make a recommendation to you, okay? And I'm talking to Alex Abian, all right? I'm talking to me too. Attend all meetings. Look, Good things happen when you fellowship. Right, Ansel? Ansel, can you fellowship over Zoom? I don't think God meant us to fellowship over Zoom. You know what I'm saying? He meant us to be together. This part of the community thing that I was talking about is attend all meetings. Now we're talking Zoom calls. You should be on Zoom calls, but all the live events that you can attend, and put your mask on, get your vaccination, okay? Do all the things you're supposed to do, but man, you got to get around the people. Attend all meetings. You got to get on all the Zoom calls. Like today's Zoom call was awesome, right? The activity call. We've got them laid out every week. I mean, that's like mandatory formation if you want to obtain your vision and the goal that you want for your family. You got to attend all meetings, okay? Be teachable. That's the whole idea of being a good listener, but it's different. Being teachable is not coming up with an ego-based question of, well, why are we doing that? That doesn't make sense. And it's okay to question, to ask the philosophy behind why we make a recommendation, and we will give you all the reasons, okay? But it's that, you know, that attitude, that ego attitude of, you know, like you're better than what we're teaching, like you're way above it, you're way better, okay? Now you might be more skilled at what we're trying to teach, and that's where it's like, well, then perform. Like if you know better than us, then perform, because when you put up the number says that you know what you're doing, okay? When you're getting referrals, you're putting up 10 grand a week, you're getting annuities, right? You're selling Medicare, you're doing all that mess. Like, man, I'm gonna have you teach all my people. But being teachable is taking everything that you're learning and then putting it into practice, right? And getting the results from it. See, how do I know that you've learned a lesson? I know you've learned a lesson when you start putting up the numbers. Baby, it's results-based. I don't know if you've learned it unless you show me. Show me, don't snow me. So being teachable is producing the results from that which you've learned, right? Then the whole idea of accountability, being good for your word. When you tell me, Alex, I'm going to make the trip this year. Well, okay, you've got a lot to catch up on, because you know it's like $125,000 to get the trip, and you haven't written anything yet. So this is what we need to do. We need to divide $125,000 by the next, 8 months, 9 months. Let's get it early, okay? And let's hold you accountable to that game plan, right? But a lot of people don't like to have game plan sessions with me or goal setting sessions with me because they don't want to be held accountable to a goal, which kind of cracks me up. I'm always here for you to do that and hold you accountable to it, but a lot of people just don't like doing it, okay? You want to do it with me, I will be happy to do it, okay? Accountable, communicate, communication. And communication is being plugged to all the ways we can communicate. Our email blast list, our Slack app, getting on the Alliance Facebook group, private Facebook group, getting on our, on my YouTube channel. Communicate, communicate, communicate. When you're having trouble, getting to me sooner than later. Like Anthony and I had a great conversation yesterday because he was frustrated. And it's like, oh man, I hate that you're frustrated. Okay, I wish I could have known earlier that you were frustrated, but he was trying to figure it out for himself. There's a certain point where it's okay to figure out on your own, to be resourceful, because I preach resourcefulness, but it is okay. It's not a sign of weakness to reach out for help either. And then I can't call it complaining if you can't control the stuff that you're trying to troubleshoot, okay? Like for example, if you bitch and moan about underwriting, it's like, okay, I taught you that you can go, you can call the underwriters. It's like, I've taught you all these things. But if you want to double check your underwriting, what you think the underwriting is, I want you to talk to me, communicate with me. Let's teach you how to do it. But if you keep asking me the same thing over and over again, it's like, man, you haven't learned anything, right? But you need to communicate early and often. And don't try to get too much in your head about it. When you feel like, see, that's the thing. When you feel like you need help, call me. Don't blow it off. Communication is the lubrication of every financial transaction. That's what Andy says. Communicate. Then finally, who must do what? We all must learn to duplicate, because duplication is key to success, duplicating what successful people are doing. And that's what I'm talking about when you're looking to build a business, is you want to be the copy worth duplicating. And like you said, you don't have to be perfect at all of it. You just have to be getting better at all of it, starting at just getting started, right? All of you are at some level getting started. And some of you are in progress. We're all work in progress. I'm in work in progress. I'm not where I need to be. That's why I need to continue to duplicate what Andy's doing, what all the top people are doing, right? Anytime I do something, is this something duplicatable? When you're building a business, it's the test is it learnable, teachable, duplicatable? If it's not learnable, teachable, duplicatable, then I ought not to do it, because I don't think my agents can do it. If I am the only person that can do it, what good is that? But if I can do something that all my agents can do, that's the power of duplication, because you can multiply yourself, you can replace yourself with multiple copies of you, as long as you're the copy worth duplicating. It's duplication. It's not replication, it's duplication. Association, this goes back to all the things that run through here, attending all meetings, community, right? All those things related to being around each other, associating, getting around the people that are where in life you want to be. God knows that when you hang around more people that are broke, you're going to be more broke than you're going to be wealthy. When you start hanging around people that make more money than you, it's amazing how you become like the people you associate with. It's like your children. If you want your children to be successful in life, you want them hanging around the back parking lot crowd in high school that's smoking dope, right? And talking about how they hate their parents, right? And they don't believe in God. Like, you want them hanging around them, or you want them hanging around college-bound kids that are successful? They're going to be successful in life. They speak life into each other. They're competitive, but they encourage you. When you want your children to hang around those people, well, if it works for them, it works for you. When you hang around positive people that are going to help you, whether they make money off you or not, what a great culture, right? Associating with people. And the way you do that is attending all meetings, going to the live functions where you can get around the people that will care about you. They see you, they shake your hand, or, you know, fist bump, okay. And they pour life into you when they're up on front trying to teach you what they're doing. They're pouring into you. They don't have to, they're not paid for it, but they want to share what they're doing is working, right? And when you can associate around that, man, you will always become better for it. Always think about this. How would it ever hurt me to get around Andy Albright? How would that ever hurt me to go to Indianapolis at the end of March? How would it ever hurt me to go to Cleveland? How would it ever hurt me to go to the Burlington Alliance headquarters March 7th and 8th? How could that hurt me? That will never hurt you. So if it won't hurt you, what's it going to do, baby? It's going to help you. It's going to help you. And it's going to help you in ways that you will never anticipate, you will never know or understand. But when you come out of that, you will always say, thank God I listened to Alex and I showed up. It was worth the money I paid. It was worth the plane trip. It was worth the gas in my car. It was worth the 2 days, 3 days I was away from my family. I promise you, you will always say it was worth it. You will always say that, right? Because I've never been around a situation where I went to a function, had a chance to associate, that ever came back saying, that was a waste of time. Never. Never in my time here at the Alliance. Then edify. Chris Hill did a great, great call on edification, building other people up. That's what we do in the Alliance. We don't tear anybody down. We don't one-up somebody. When someone's doing great, we might be competitive, we cheer for them, but you know what? I'm going to do better than you next week. I hope you do good, but I'm going to do better than you. You edify and uplift everyone. We don't tear anybody down. We don't gossip. We don't well, these leads aren't working for me. I don't know what you're doing, but blah, 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 blah. We're not murmuring. We edify. We give credibility to people so that they can give credibility back to you, especially in the building of the business. Your prospects don't know who I am, right? And you set up an appointment for me to talk to them. The only way that I can get any credibility is by you ascribing to me credibility to your person. So when you say, hey, Joe, man, I set up an appointment with Alex Abuyuan. I'll tell you what, man, this guy's been to Andy Albright since 1993, and he's helped Andy build the Alliance. And he's got the second largest group in the Alliance business. He's got a jamming organization. He's killing it. He's making a ton of money. But most of all, he's got a kind heart. He's got a family, and he wants to help you. I got this opportunity for you to talk to him. Man, he's a busy guy, talk to a lot of people. But man, he said that he'd love to talk to you. So, man, I'm excited you get to talk to him. Now, look, I never would recommend you falsely edify people for anything that they didn't do. That's not right. But you can always edify somebody for something that they're doing right? Like, let's say your upline got you in the business, but they quit. You can edify your upline saying, you know, thank God Joe Smith invited me into the business because, man, it changed my life. Now, Joe's no longer in the business. You don't have to say that. But you know what? Thank God I was a name on a list and he called me. See, you can always edify someone for something. But, you know, when Andy Albright's coming into town and you've got some people coming to see him in Indianapolis, for example, it's like, man, you got the opportunity to get around Andy Albright. He's an integrity partner. He makes $1 gazillion in the business. He founded the Alliance back in 2002. Man, that guy, he's hilarious. He's so approachable. He would never give off any air that he's some rich guy. He's got jets, right? But when you meet him, he's just a plain old good old boy redneck from North Carolina. You need to get around him because he will talk to you about making money like you've never heard anybody talk to you about making money before. Your people that come there are going to be at the edge of their seat. They're going to look at Andy Albright like, but if they never know that about him, they're just going to sit there like, oh, who's this guy? Andy Albright, never heard of him. You know what I mean? Edification is your power. We call it the power of edification because it's the credibility that you can ascribe to people that will edify you back, that will say, hey, man, like if you edified me and I'm on the phone with your candidate, I'd say, you know what? Bruce is killing it. Man, Bruce is committed. He comes to events, right? Now, Bruce is not a 20,000 a month producer, so I'm not going to lie to him and say, Bruce is like mega producer. But it's like Bruce attends everything, man. He's a good person to copy for attending all meetings, that's for sure. You know what I'm saying? You only edify what you can, but it doesn't mean that you can't, right? I can always edify something about you. And that's the credibility that you've given me to give it back to you. See how edification works? It's always good to edify other people and then ultimately edify yourself by speaking life into yourself. When you can speak positive about what you're doing and what you're accomplishing as if it already happened. Man, I'm a partner. I'm an integrity partner, right? I've built my business to $1.2 million a year of income, and we are rocking. I've got 8 legs doing 20 sales a week, and we are smoking this thing like a cheap cigar. I've got people that are following me because I'm following Andy Albright and everything that he's doing. I've got people that believe in prosperity, inspiration, and eternity. I have people that do the 8 core values, right? That do the 8 steps to success. They do the 3 things, which is 1 thing, sell, recruit, and build. And they all duplicate, they all associate, they all edify, baby. I've got 8 legs of 20 agents in each of those legs that do that. Does that make sense? That's the deal, gang. That is what the Alliance is all about. And if you believe in this and what we're trying to accomplish with this, and you build a business based on this foundation, it's no different than Ray Kroc taking the McDonald's brothers burgers, fries, and shakes business and franchising it all over the country to have multiple billions served all over the world. Do you think the McDonald's business has changed America? Like, seriously, man, they have. They really have. All the good works that they're doing, the McDonald's house for children, their programs to help their employees. I guess they have education benefits. Just so many things, good things they've been able to do, right? They've changed the face of America. And you have the same ability based on the core values and the things that we talked about now to do the same thing here. But you have to internalize it. You have to ascribe to it. You have to work at achieving these things. And at the same time, not until you think you're perfect at it, but at the same time, bringing other people to the party. When you can do that, man, when you can become the copy worth duplicating and bringing other people to the party, your business can only grow. And it's a solid business based on a foundation that the Alliance is built on. And we've spent 20 years putting this together, and this is what we stand on. Now it's time to go out there. Let's bring other people to this party, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, you all can do it. You all can do it if you decide. It's a decision away to become this copy worth duplicating, right? And man, it's 12 o'clock. I pray that I will see you at the next event. I hope and pray that I see you May 7th and 8th. It is worth it. Look, if you already got COVID, man, you're golden. You already got the immunity, baby. You're already part of the herd immunity. We need you there. I need to see you May 7th and 8th in Burlington. All right. If you want to room with somebody, you know, I'll hook you up with someone who's also going there. We'll try to figure out how to make it cheap. You know, if you need a ride with somebody, we'll figure out who's driving out there. You can hop in their car. We're going to make this as easy as we can for you, but you're going to have to step up and make the investment. Make the investment of your time, right, your money and emotion to make it out there. All right. So anyway, man, God bless y'all. Glad I could serve you in some way. I hope I said something that would light a fire under you, man, to make this business your own business. Rock on, man. God bless everybody. Take care. Bye.